Whopper. The time is now.
Good evening again. Welcome one and all to the match reaction with myself, the Toon Army. If you haven't already known me, where have you been? I got Michael, my right-hand man, during match commentary, which was, again, very good. And obviously my left-hand man is Boki, who's going to be the referee. We're going to put the chat in there tonight. Like I say, we haven't got the phone number, which is a shame because at the minute we've had loads going on in the background, and like I say, Chris still has the helm when it comes to the phone number. So literally, if I put the phone number up, his phone's going to be coming red hot after he's leaving St James's Park. So like I say, I don't want to spoil his night, but Boki's going to put us in the chat anyway. So if you do want to jump on board, we'll give you literally 2 minutes or so to get what your feelings were about tonight's match, and then we'll try and get over to everybody. Now, listen, you've listened to me for the last 2 or 3 hours. So, Boki, I'm going to come to you first. You can start us off tonight. How did you feel watching that one? Bit different from what you expected tonight? You're muted, dude. You're muted.
Sorry. Brilliant game. Absolutely, it's one of those ones where you come away from feeling ecstatic because we did what we've been promising to do all season. Harvey Barnes, what a player. We've got to give that lad needs to go to the World Cup for England. For me, if people talk about him going to Scotland, is ridiculous. He's too good for them. He is a brilliant, brilliant player. But the whole team, absolutely magic. You guys on commentary, listening to yous, it keeps us sort of entertained during the game, even when there's little quiet periods. And then going into sort of the fact that it's the American Mags' first Champions League game, first game under the lights. What an experience that must have been for him. Him and Betsy, I'm just so glad for them guys that we got that result and we got that sort of performance for them.
Yeah.
Why we don't do it in other games is another story. But let's just take the positives from the night. What a game and what a great performance. And now, how far can we go in the Champions League, lads? If you're watching that sort of performance, who's going to want to play Newcastle United in the Champions League, especially under St James's Park's lights?
Yeah. I mean, for me, you're right. I mean, I was just going to come in, but before I do come in, I want to because like I say, Michael's been literally throwing a lot of great information. It's nice to have Michael with me because he's great with the computers. He gets information really quick. Even if we haven't got it in front of us, he's got it within a flash. And like I say, tonight, I think it was just, it flowed really well. Like I say, it wasn't one of, because again, they couldn't do anything against us. Everywhere, and Connor, bless him, he's again another lad who throws stuff at me. Botman and Cherry's put down really strong partnership for me. Fabian Shares just literally put himself a picture with it showing his foot still in the cast on the raise bar, watching the game from bed. So
just before we get to Michael, Gary, can we quickly do the super chat from Geordie Dan?
Absolutely,
fantastic result. Whole man of the match. Can't disagree with that. Maley is captain. How are the lads? I've got to see Maley putting that captain's armband on. That.
Unreal,
ready to burst at that point. You just think, Jesus Christ, what a bloke he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miley became Newcastle's youngest ever captain in the Champions League and the 4th youngest captain ever in the competition. There you go.
That's lush.
There's a couple of little stats. Ruben Neves apparently was the youngest ever at 18 years old. So there you go. So the only thing, obviously different for me, potentially could have bought Alex Murphy on. That's what Connor's saying. And give Hall a bit of a rest, and I think that's a good shout. And he's put out the other one that he's put on, and again, I want to hear your comments. J7 was class tonight. That's what he's put. He was everywhere. You know what? I think J7 was potentially a man of the match for me. Again, there's a number of them I'm looking at. And the only thing that stopped me from saying J7 was class was because his passing wasn't. At times,
Yeah.
you know, there was a couple of misdemeanors that he didn't need to do. But I think overall, I think he was certainly a step up from what we've seen in previous months.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the thing for me was when he was, if it was in our half, I don't think he gave the ball away too much, but it was just every time we were trying to press forward and then they would actually be somewhat closer to us, half a press or something. That's when the passes started going a little awry for him. I remember him giving it away a few times in the opposition half, especially. But he's been so good since coming back. We were looking at potential replacements for him not that long ago. He's looking like the most valuable man in that midfield right now.
Mm. No, you're absolutely right, Matt. Like I say, for me, there was several really good contests going on, and like I say, we spoke before the game about what could be the banana skin with pace against Trippier,
Yeah.
but I think unfortunately their coach played into our hands a little bit because it was two very good matches, wasn't it? With Young Hall against Mann on the right hand side. And obviously Perisic
Lads,
up against.
I don't know if you could hear it because I know what it's like when you're doing the match watch along and you can't always hear the crowd behind you. But when Elanga and Wissa came on, when Elanga came on, and the crowd in the background, the support for that lad was amazing. You know, for somebody who's been so far behind, like where we expect them to be. You know, the sort of the support for that lad was absolutely brilliant. And just a quick one there as well from Jody Dan, another super chat. In fairness to Eddie Howe, it was safety before youth, which you can't blame him for in the Champions League. You know, you've got to go there.
No, but you've also got to remember, you know, there's still youth on the field of play that have gone back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? So I do understand him. What Hall, you know, Hall to me is probably like Bruno at Newcastle as we speak, because he has the ability and the technique to pull us away from the defensive third through the middle third and into an attacking third just because of his movement with and without the ball. So for me, there was like I said, I understand what Jordy Dan's just said there, because it's not just about taking a player out to give him a rest. It's how deep do we defend once we do that? Because we all know Alex Murphy, bless him, has a tendency when he's on the field of play, when you've seen him in the first team, he does drop off a little bit further. And we do lose the impetus down that left-hand side. And I must admit, you know, Gordon's been criticised over his performances over the last couple of weeks, months, year. He again, you know, first half especially, did a lot of work going backwards. It tailed off in the second half. And again, you can only say there's only so much running at that pace you can do, box to box, end to end. He found himself in some really good positions, I thought. And like I say, you know, his pace up front often puts a lot of defences, you know, under a lot of stress. And with Wissa, again, another pacey guy, 2 mistakes caught by the press. Great from J7, like I say, the spots. He looked uncomfortable in the pass square, but it was the right thing to do to push it through. But like I said, it was all stuck underneath him. He just couldn't get it out of his feet. But, you know, being the lad he is, he managed to do it. And like I say, again, the Wissa finish wasn't the best stroke football I've ever seen. But by God, like I say, any goal, doesn't matter how it goes in.
Lads, I'll just quickly do the super chat if that's okay from Captain Bruno. So, Bruno, man of the match, fighting while injured. Tell you what, he showed a hell of a lot of spirit in that first half, because it was obviously he was injured, but great
a lot of
player.
Spirit, but quite stupid as well at the same time.
Stupid, but you know, it shows you how much he wants to play for the Toon. You know, it just shows you that he gets with. And
Oh,
we might get
he
win
carries
it.
Yeah.
Yep, we might get win at some point because he keeps popping in and out. So I'll try to grab him next time he's in.
Yeah. Buller Boy here has put a good one in. Results haven't got our way, but tonight this team showed heart and belief. Loved it. And fair play to Trippier. He handled it well. J7, that's my boy. Miley captaincy just topped a brilliant night. And again, you know what?
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, I couldn't change them words around even if I tried. It was absolutely spot on, that Buller Boy. Love that one. Yeah, I mean, like I say, there was a lot that showed tonight. And again, we go back to, where have you been? You know, are you keeping something behind, you know, mentally, physically? We're not seeing on the field of play in the Premier League. It certainly proves there's a team there. It certainly proves that he hasn't lost the dressing room. But like I say, is this just the fact that, you know, the lads are going to do their best to try and get as far as they can? It does look like Mighty Win has got a signal now. Let's see. Can you hear us, Mighty Win?
Add him to the screen. Are you there,
Can
Win?
you guys hear me?
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
yes.
I can't hear you.
Well, just
What
go.
a game.
Go for it.
What a game.
Yeah.
What a result. But I'll try and get the rest on shortly and we'll see if we can get a better connection because I can't hear you at the minute.
No worries.
We're
mate.
all here in Bally's and we're all very, very happy.
Yeah.
High press, Gordon and Wissa. And what about one trick pony Eddie? Who'd have thought it? 3 at the back with Tenali in the middle. Master stroke. Genius. Who says he's only got one plan? Obviously, I can't hear you. Oh my God. It's Jeffo. Even he can't have anything to complain about tonight. But anyway, guys, I'm going to try again when Chris has just arrived. But when he gets in, we'll give it another shot. See if we can get some sound from you so we can hear the reaction. But come on, Champions League. Who says we can't win it? Who says we cannot win it? How are the lads? Ciao, see you in a minute.
Ciao, buddy.
There you go, the Mighty Win himself, giving him some. Jeffo, can you hear me, mate? Can you hear me, Jeffo? There have been some problems tonight trying to get on board. Again, I don't know what it is. Sometimes the sound just doesn't play very well. So we'll see what happens. Jeffo's potentially going to. Are you? Can you hear me, Jeffo?
Are you there, Jeffo?
No, it doesn't look like he can.
Nah, it doesn't look like he can.
No. So we'll
Hello?
just. Hiya, can you hear us now?
Yeah, you there, mate?
No, he's struggling.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Oh man, I can't hear you guys. Damn. Let me go out and come back. Hold on. I'll come back. I'll come back.
Go. Okay. Brill. I'm sure he'll be on very, very shortly. Right then. If you can see anything, they're not playing in the Premier League, Gary, says Steve. Well, they're not. And again, you have to give. Again, you can only play where what's in front of you. I understand that, and these are one of those yo-yo teams. You just really, the Forrest Gump team, aren't they? You just never know what you're going to get out of those box of chocolates. And that's what I say. Sometimes just having one player missing throws the whole team out. And we've seen it with Newcastle on more than once. People say it's only one man. But sometimes that one man just moving into that right space that you've been working with on week out in the training park, you don't even have to look at it. You know he's going to be there type of situation. Your passes always go there. Maybe that's where the problem is. Maybe they're doing it really good on the training field. When it comes to game time, sorry, I'm not going to run 10 yards. You know what I mean? The ball's there, but I'm not going to get there.
Gary, just a quick one. Another super chat, which is brilliant. Tonight we're getting them in. Keep going, guys.
Thanks, Rockstar.
Thank you very much, Rockstar. Amazing night meeting the new Radio Gaga. Are Russell not going to do the sing along for Radio
Well,
Gaga?
I think we're going to have to, aren't we? We're going to have to do
It's
something.
all the people
All
need.
here is Radio Gaga.
Radio Goo Goo. That's what I talk most of the time.
Radio La La.
Absolutely.
Right, that's enough of that because we'll lose
I'm
about
gonna say,
100 viewers.
Yeah.
No, we'll be done for
Yeah.
copyright. It's that good.
Yeah, I'm going to say we've just dropped 50 already. Let's go. Let's take it on board. So, have we put the chats in the? Did we put it in? Anybody copied and pasted to invite the guests on board, just to get a view? Let's have a
I'll
look.
put it in the collaborator. Should bung it in the
I'm going to put it in
general
here.
chat.
Let everybody come on board if they can. Travoy.
Oh,
Here he is.
Travoy.
Can you hear us, Travoy? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
What is it with everybody tonight? We're struggling to get on board tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
It's typical, isn't it? It's the usual ghosts that seems to be appearing and pulling it. And Michael, it was really funny, guys in Viewerland. If those who watched from the start,
Can I just say as well, it is Travoy as well, not Trevor, which me.
Yeah,
and,
I did say Travoy.
No, I'm saying you did, but me and Chris the other week, we were calling him Trevor.
Right, Trev.
Yeah, all right, Trev, mate. All right, Trev, mate. And he's from Wales, and he's a good lad, Travoy. So let's call him his right name.
Jeff Howe, I think, has come back to us. Can you hear us now, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. There you go. Just before you start, buddy, I was going to tell a story because me and Michael were talking just after the game. Oh, I've got some breaking news, guys. Bear with me a second. Craig Hope on Bruno Guimaraes. He's a little bit sore and there's a little bit of swelling around his ankle. We hope it's not serious, but it's difficult to know. It's a worry that he's had to come off. So there you go. That's the breaking news about Bruno Guimaraes. So it's like I say, it's sore. There's a bit of swelling. And I'm sure he'll have the cast on the air boot tonight, just so he keeps the swelling down. Ice it, baby, ice, baby. So I was talking to Michael after the game, just preparing for the show, and then my screen went blank. Everything went blank, and then I realised, I thought I'd turn everything off, switch it back on, and my little puppy, my brand new puppy that I've got, it's a couple of months old. I'd been chewing on my cable, I've realised. And it was half in the power bank and half out. So my battery had run right the way down. And I've just seen it because my battery was flashing again. And I'm thinking it's plugged in. And I've just moved forward and I thought, oh, you swine. She's been chewing on the cable. So I've just realised what had happened. Oh, dear. Crazy. Anyway, how are you doing, Jeffo?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Obviously, delighted with the win. Delighted and relieved.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that them 3 points means at a minimum we got playoff round, so we're gonna have at least 3 more games in this competition. And who knows, we may be in with a chance of finishing top 8, which would be wonderful. Really, really delighted with the result. Do you want me to give a quick summary of what I thought, or you
Go
guys
for it,
still
mate.
doing that at the moment?
No, this is your time. This is your moment of glory.
Oh, brilliant. Obviously, I think we did what we had to do. I think it was what you would call a professional performance. We can only play what's in front of us, and I think we did what was necessary, with little to no fuss. Even we didn't really move through the gears, and it was evident that we were levels above this team. I think, to be honest with you, the first 2 goals showed their naivety in terms of, I don't know what they were doing leaving 2v2, but at this level, in terms of continental level, the Champions League, the highest level in Europe, I don't know what tactically they were doing there. Very, very naive. But at the end of the day, we pressed them, and we created those opportunities by putting them under pressure. So again, we did what we had to do. And happy for Visser as well to get his goal and assist. Gordon, as we know, has been turning up in this competition. But for me, the third goal was a joy to watch. Always happy when Harvey Barnes notches. But I think overall, when we look at the campaign, there's been some high moments, but we have to just temper that balance a little bit in terms of You know, if you compare this to the last campaign, the quality in terms of this group stage quite simply hasn't been there. The tests that we have had, obviously, has been Barcelona, Marseille, and to an extent Leverkusen. I do think we let that one go, but the rest of the side has been conference quality. So we just need to keep our heads, try and move on and grow from here. But I will not be waxing lyrical, but I will commend the team on a very professional performance and some real good individual performances as well.
Yeah.
The likes of Lewis Hall, Botman and Tiao looking solid at the back, hoping that Botman gets a run so he continues to get fit. J7, you know, played really well, got his assist as well for that first goal in particular. You know, so yeah, really, really pleased with some individual performances today. Nice to see Miley get the captaincy at the end as well, you know, local lads. So the sprinkling of stardust would have been if we saw, you know, a Shaha or a Murphy come on, particularly when you're winning a game like, you know, by such a big margin. That would have been amazing. But that's just me being critical. I think we did what we had to do today. I'm very, very pleased and relieved with this performance. So on we go in the Champions League.
Yeah. Bailey's just put in the chat there.
Just a couple, Gary. Liam in the chat. Liam in the chat, who I work with, strangely,
hello,
is on about the intensity on the press was so much better. Wish I looked a lot sharper. Can't disagree, Liam. We'll have the discussion on Monday about where we'll go from here, but that's an important one. And a quick super chat from Warren, which is going to break my heart, but well done. How so good. Come on, mate.
Let's relax a little bit.
I haven't literally checked this out, but Bain here is saying we secured top 16 now with that win. Obviously, it's a plus 10 goal difference. Galatasaray currently in 17th. So obviously,
that's right.
You know, it is great news to think that, you know, we have hit where we thought we would probably end up. We've surpassed that, hopefully, because like I say, it's a bit of an open shootout now in France at the end of the month. So I think, you know, we've got everything to play for and really nothing to lose now.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's face it. Who would have thought, you know, let's be honest, go back 5 years. Who would have thought Newcastle United would be in this position in the Champions League, would be in this position in cups, would have won a cup? You know, sometimes you can come on and just be negative, but let's be positive. We've done something amazing.
Bokey,
in my lifetime.
Have you had a fall and hit your head? do you need to see a GP quick?
In my lifetime, who would have thought would have won a cup, you know, and would have been pushing so far on? We can all argue about the here and now and where we are and what's going on. But, you know, sometimes you just have to look back and just say, you know, this has been an amazing time as Newcastle fans. You know, we're competing at the level of football, and, you know, we can disagree or agree on Eddie Howe, but what a position to be in to be able to do that sort of argument. You know, we're arguing now about being not just a good team, but an elite team and a cup winning team. You know, let's just, you know, enjoy the moment win.
Yeah, I mean, can I ask you guys a question? Because it's nice that Jeff Howe's jumped on at this, because I'd got this in the back of my mind, and I was going to put it down into a show next week, but there's no point, because tonight has shown something that we hadn't seen in weeks. So my question to you guys, and listen, there is no correct answer to this, because I haven't got the crystal ball. I don't know the answer myself. Would this be something that we have been looking at doing further afield? I know Eddie Howe says we go game by game, but have we been seeing some of this play over a period of weeks that just hasn't got right? Because tonight there was lots of different transitions. J7 wasn't out on his left-hand side. He was up top really close to Wissa majority of the time. We saw Tonali drop into the three at the back, which is something I've been shouting for a very long time. So Eddie Howe, I'm glad you watched the show, son. So if for me, is that why we've dropped off in the Premier League? Is it because we haven't got those training sessions now to reach the high notes across all of the competitions. So Eddie Howe is trying to squeeze in a lot more during the training sessions he's got for nights like tonight.
I think it's just more a case of when we play team. I mean, Jefferson made a great point. PSV left us 2v2 on the attack. How many times do we see that in the Premier League? Let's be honest, Premier League teams, I'm not saying naive or stupid, but Premier League teams don't do that. And maybe there's a small part of PSV knew if they didn't get anything tonight, they would have to go to they would have to host Bayern and get something there. So they knew they had to attack us. But we don't get that in the Premier League. Everyone now looks at us and goes, right, this is how Newcastle play. We know how Newcastle play. We know they can't break teams down. While in the Champions League, we're still looked at as a team that can be got at. And I think we've reaped the rewards of that in some games. Other games like Marseille, Aubameyang could have had 4 if he was slightly better finisher on the night. So I think it's one of those where we're reaping the rewards in some games, but teams aren't going to do that against us in the Prem, no matter what.
No, you're right.
Guys, can I just do the super chat there?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it.
£5 from Waza, so thank you very much, mate. Let's press Borky's button. Let's press Borky's button. La 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 la. Oh,
yeah, Muppet.
I just want to put this one up from Stevie Gotti. I've just got some news as well from Geordie Dan. Bear with me a second, Steve Gotti. I agree with that. If I'm honest with you, keep the armband away from Marley. But you know what? I think that was one leader group to a young man to say, "Well done, you." You know what I mean?
Congrats.
You exactly. I don't think that was something that's going to be there for a long time. I just think that was the leader group man saying to him, "You know, I'm on the way out, but you are the future, lad." So I think that is cool. Just something from Geordie Dan, which won't probably surprise you at all. This is ridiculousness from TalkSport, Jamie O'Hara. He said, "Is the Champions League that hard due to all the English teams getting through?" Then he said, "Who will eventually win it? Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs. I mean, Spurs." Ha ha ha. He completely didn't mention Newcastle at all. It's obviously typical Southern media.
Well, I get that.
Yeah. So it's something else that, like I say, they just hate us down there for achieving anything up in the northeast. And like I say, the amount
it's clever though, isn't it? It's clever because they know that people are going to ring in and have a go at him, isn't it? They really know.
Yeah, I mean, all the Geordies are going to get on the phone, aren't they?
Especially the squeaky voice guy. I forgot his name, but there's a squeaky voiced fan, isn't there, that rings them up?
Yeah. I can't think of his name.
He's the one. Is he the one doing that? We don't have to sound.
Yeah.
Legitimately. I go to work and I hear it when I walk in the door, and I'm like, "Oh fuck."
You know what we need? We need Chris from London to phone him, because I'm sure, like he does with Mighty Win.
Oh wow!
No, Chris from London. I couldn't stand the shouting. And
wow!
Get your plugs in.
It's been a quiet one.
Wow!
Travoy, keep trying to get in, mate. Just keep trying. If you get in, I'll get you on, mate. So
keep going, mate. Anybody that, like I say, wants to come and have 5 minutes with us, you're more than welcome. We'll take it till around about 11 o'clock. So let's nitpick through a couple of things then. Obviously, you know, Champions League night at St James's Park. St James's Park does remain Newcastle's biggest weapon, in my opinion. I used to love night matches and still do. If I can get tickets for any midweek games, I would prefer them to weekend games, as daft as it looks. Just to me, it's a romantic thing for me from the early days when I started going, there was just one stand. Early intensity and crowd energy matter more against elite sides than possession stats, and I think that showed tonight. When you get at them, it certainly works. But I want to ask you guys, is this ground still worth a goal start in nights like this?
Do you know what I was thinking tonight? You know, when you watch it, St James's Park, and I'm sure the guys that were there the night, the likes of Chris that went for the first time, what a hell of a loss is it going to be if we do move on from St James's Park? You know, it is the cathedral on the hill. It is our home. It's where we've lived for so long. You know, and sometimes you have to move home, but it'll be a sad, sad day. And I just hope so much that we don't go too much commercial. You know, we don't lose the local fans and when I think the big one for me, Gary, was when we had the Man City fan on here, and all the word was sort of about commercialism and sort of how the Premier League were down on them. I don't want Newcastle United to turn into that. I still want it to be the club that we all love, the local club to the local city, to be the place where you want to be. So, if we get a new stadium, great, but let's make sure it stays the same as in regards to fans. Let's make sure it becomes another cathedral on the hill.
No prawn sandwiches.
No prawn sandwiches, exactly, Jeffers.
I mean, it did lose its heart when obviously the family area, the family enclosure was brought in, and then everybody was pushed up to the corner. But again, that seemed to have symbolised that area in the Gallagher now, where the Twins used to be a few years back. And like I say, I love if I can get any seats up in and around there. It's just great. But it's like me. I love the mighty Wayne. Like I say, he's very hospitable when I go there. I've always got a sore bottom when I leave home. I leave his house. I don't know why that is. It's obviously his hot curries.
Didn't need to tell her that.
Yeah, I always wake up with a thick head as well. I don't know what that is.
Gary, too much info. Too much info.
I'm joking. No, listen, the lad, honest to God, he's fantastic, and I couldn't fault him. Never lets me pay for anything. Never lets me do any work for him.
That's lush.
He's lush.
Gary, that's not helping.
No. Honestly, he's lush. Especially when they get on all fours. Anyway.
Steer into the skin.
Yeah, you know what they say about payments in kind and all that. No, I'm joking.
Gary, just to give you a bit of time to compose yourself.
Nice to see we're an inclusive channel.
Can we just do one?
Of course.
Of course you can.
Jeffers, I dare you to say, but we can't keep it up.
Come on now, Wazza. Come on now, Wazza.
I was Andy Bell slipping something in my drink. Apparently,
you know what? The PSG game will be interesting because I think now we know we've got a playoff place pretty much secured in the bag. Will we go for the jugular in terms of trying to get that top 8 place?
Absolutely.
It's worth trying. But I guess in terms of the competition, we have to back ourselves as well, that if we do end up in the playoffs, that we can still make it through. But it would be great to match basically what Villa did last season, which is to get to the quarterfinals. We know how much this competition means in terms of revenue. Every win we get, every round we progress in, it could be worth so much to us come summertime. Such an important competition. But as everybody knows, and this is going to be magical because these sort of campaigns don't come often. It's a bonus. The league will always be the bread and butter. So I'm enjoying this ride at the moment for whatever it is, and I hope we get as far as we can. But not getting carried away. Just remembering that the league is the bread and butter. And actually, the goal should be: how do we get back here again? How can we make these nights regular every single year? We want it to be standard, and this is how we move the standards up in terms of our stature as a club, and we're getting there. I like how you put that into context, Boki, in terms of if you look at the last 5 years, it's things that we couldn't have even dreamt of, considering where we were before. But a kind reminder as well that actually PSV paid tribute to Sir Bobby Robson today, and under Sir Bobby Robson, this was happening. If we know that if it weren't for Ashley, we would be there or thereabouts. So we're getting there. It's positive, but we've got to keep our heads and switch back to the bread and butter, which is the Premier League.
Well, I mean, it's been interesting. I haven't looked at many stats, but to me, having watched, say, over the last week or so, I've tried to edge my bet a little bit towards PSV to see what type of stuff they're going to be like, to see what type of play. So I've looked at all of their previous Champions League football, 1 or 2 games in the Eredivisie. Can't always get a real test from there. But, you know, the one thing that I noticed tonight especially was Newcastle were one of the few sides, you know, the physical domination, if you like. They really did push PSV back a little bit and try and get into the faces a lot more. And like I say, you saw it against Liverpool. Liverpool tried to play nice football around them. They allowed that. They dropped off them. Again, when the ball was there, they ran into the space. They played the width perfectly, and they got 4 goals for the good on that. And I expected a similar outing tonight. And again, that's why I asked Michael earlier on about are they in a situation now compared to where they were with Liverpool, where they have to come out and try tonight? They allowed us to play behind them. It opened them up. And we always look a lot better against a team that's open and go toe-to-toe with us than we ever do against a team in a low block. I think it'll be a different game if they didn't come and play like they did against Liverpool.
Yeah, completely. I think it's one of those, like we always say, it's a shame we keep coming back to it, but we keep seeing it. If the low block comes against us, we're screwed. But when teams try and play football against us, I mean, you see what you saw it with Leeds as well. I mean, the PSV manager was saying that was the best game he'd ever seen. He probably tried to replicate the way that Leeds had played, but we just didn't make the same mistakes that we did in that game. And unfortunately, they've made a few mistakes at the back. Well, I say unfortunately for them, very fortunately for us. And we've come out victorious because of it. And to be honest, rightfully so, because that team that played us today, I didn't watch the whole game against Liverpool, but very, very different. And you know, you wouldn't recognise them. You think they were 2 completely different sides 10 years apart.
Yeah, you're right. I totally agree. I mean, like I say,
guys,
for me, there was just... Go on. Yeah, go on.
I just quickly say, it's impossible to keep up with the chat these days, you know, when you're putting so much content out there. So that's why we're just flashing it up a little bit. And we've got another super chat there for $4.99 from Raskin, which is great. Fantastic meeting the fans. They need fantastic result. Couldn't be there at the end. You know, mate, you're right, 100%. You know, just it's great. But as I say, going through the chat now, we just cannot keep up with the amount of chats we get through. So if you want to read out, it has to be a super chat, basically.
Yeah, well,
shout out to the chat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't fault it. If I'm honest with you, I love the fact that the interactions there. You get so much information from you guys as well. Because, like I say, this
100%.
would be so difficult to do when you're trying to do half a dozen jobs behind the scenes as well as talk about the content that you've just watched.
We're trying to read them all.
Fantastic from all of you.
It would be fantastic to read them all, but if we did, it would literally be me sitting here talking all night, just reading through the chat. You guys watch the chat as it goes through; it just flashes through so quick.
Yeah, absolutely. What about this one? Would anyone rest best players against PSG? I don't think he could now.
No, I don't think he can.
I'd judge it based on how we do in the upcoming games, to be honest. If we lose against Villa, where we get knocked out there, or let's say we're still in the FA Cup, but we lose the Premier League games, stuff like that, I'd maybe be tempted, but you want to get top 8, don't you? And the only way you're going to do that is by going to Paris and getting a result.
Yeah, you're right. But, you know, for me, it's like, we know we're not going to win the Premier League, so that one's gone, right? But the competition to get not the top level players, but the players underneath that threshold, there has to be some type of drive to encouragement to get them here, because we know it's not location, right? We know that that's always going to be on the back burner.
Yeah.
So sometimes you've got to have other things, and unfortunately for me, I think Eddie looks at every competition, and again, he doesn't do it on a selfish basis. He does it because of what the Northeast has missed out on in years. He's very passionate about the Northeast. He wants to try and bring everything to the table. Now, unfortunately, you can't do that. It's impossible to do that. You can't compete at the same level and intensity across all 4 competitions. So sometimes it's, and again, I go to, you look at Man City. If we'd have played Man City like we did tonight, I don't think we would have gone to the Etihad 2 goals down.
No.
That's how I see it. You know, it was a total different game. And again, you know, you can only look at what's in front of you the next day. And I think for me, Eddie's response to that question about resting players, as you all just said there, you will only have to gauge it when you have to rest them because they've picked up a knock or they've got a slight pull, something sore. So a lot of this is going to be an engagement between medical staff, players, and Eddie making that choice. But from what we've seen so far, there ain't many going to move unless there's a need to move them. I haven't looked
Shot
at stats.
fired from Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say, I literally said the last time we were on here that I thought Howe should leave at the end of the season.
Can I just do a quick one here? That I think Win and Chris are very drunk in town, I think is the way of saying it. And yes, that's why we're doing the late night show, guys.
Travaya, you got the speaker on, bud? Because you're coming through twice.
You've either got a telly or something in the background, mate. You just need to turn it off.
Phone, so I looking on my phone and trying to hear you all on the laptop.
That's all right. But as you can hear, you are on a delay a little bit.
Hear you, but give your thoughts on the game and what you think.
Well, the game was good. I mean, I think I played way better than how we were playing. I thought Wissa did really well. Elanga came on, did well. Botman was awesome. Hull was top class. Marley, obviously, he's phenomenal. I think Walter Maiden needs to do better, obviously, when he comes on. I think everybody played well, and it was a good win. I hope this gives us confidence for the weekend now,
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely one of those where I think you look at it and think, if we can get it against PSV, who have smashed Liverpool, Aston Villa in Turkey tomorrow, they're going to have a little bit of fatigue. Hit them with the same press we did early on against PSV, and we could have a great game.
I've got a couple of positive things to say before jumping off. Number one, we didn't have a lull in the second half. Again, I know the opposition weren't great, but I think sometimes the lull in the second half is basically a mental thing. Are you switched on? Do you have desire? Do you have hunger? Are you concentrating? So number one, I think props to the team and just being, that's what I mean about the performance. It was very professional. It's not a thing to wax lyrical about, but you have to commend the approach that they knew the job that they had to do and they got it done. So I think that's a positive. And the other thing actually is, in terms of Eddie, what this result means for Eddie is a big thing, because one thing I've gone against him with, and I still think it is an issue, is that when we've been in prime positions to take advantage or push ahead, where it's like, if we win today, we go fourth in the table, or if we do this, we're going to achieve this, we always seem to stumble. And today is kind of a full circle moment. It's arguably a one-off game where you know what you need to do. You need to get minimum a point. You had to get a win to ensure playoff qualification. And if you go all the way back to 2 seasons ago, we fumbled the bag against AC Milan. So it's a stick that I've always beaten him with, that he can never get it done, with the exception of the cup final. And I think he's done that today. So I do give him that credit. But again, it's sort of like, let's not wax lyrical. Let's keep it moving, get back to the bread and butter and keep pushing, because I think what this does show us as well that people have to realize is the potential of the team, that we're actually capable of even far more. So if this is what we're producing now, and let's be real, guys, according to our standards from last season, it's been below par this season. And look at what we've achieved. Just imagine, I'm just saying, if we had a different man at the helm, where we could be. You know, it's something that is really positive to think about in terms of like our foundation level and yet what we're still able to achieve. So props to the team. And big up the fans as well for trying to encourage Elanga today. You know, I thought that was really touching as well.
Yeah, and to be fair, I thought he
Can I just
looked
say,
very, very good.
Thank you very much for the super chat. But Travoy, it's great to have you on the channel. What's your thoughts on how? What do you think? Do you think he should stay? Do you think he should go? You think if he stays, there may be trouble. If he goes, there may be double.
Well, I think everybody knows that I'm how out kind of thing. You know, I think everybody knows from my chats and obviously, but I think he has shot himself this season. Like with the transfer business and trying to integrate those types of players into our team.
Yeah.
So I think if he can get it right, the Premier League is our bread and butter. So we need to finish top 4 or 5 in the Premier League. And that's our bread and butter. Without Champions League, I'm sorry to say, but that's not good enough because of how the financial issues is with the football nowadays.
Yeah, it's very difficult, mate, to be
And then
honest
you're looking at, his playing style as well. It's been really, really like passive. I think it's really passive this season.
Travoy, I know you've had trouble
And
joining.
if he can get it turned around, then obviously I've given him till the summer, and then hopefully we can do a review and see where we go from there. But at the moment, he's still got a lot to prove me for this season, really.
Yeah,
Travoy,
I do agree with some of your points.
Travoy, I know you've had trouble joining the channel as well, and we are looking into why international fans are having a little bit of trouble trying to get joined up. So for anybody out there who's an international,
yeah, it's saying that I'm not in the region to obviously join up.
Yeah, 100%, mate. We'll get that looked into.
There's a lot of little problems behind the doors that we're trying to sort out. It may need us moving to something else. We're going to look into everything as we go forward. So watch this space, Travoy. I agree with some of your points. But the only thing I'm going to say to you, with our financial situation, what we have is we haven't got a pool like the big teams, the Cities, the Chelseas. They can gamble on players, pick anybody. The young uns come in. If they fail, they send them out on loan. Not a problem. Send them out on loan because I've got a big enough squad to deal with anyway. We haven't got that. So every mistake, and we've seen some from the 11th hour bids, if you like, from Eddie Howe this year, if it don't fit the cause, sometimes it makes the problem seem a lot bigger because of our current financial situation. So there's a lot of pressure on the lads bringing players in because they do have to work from the out. Or, as we've seen with Elanga, say he played well tonight, I thought, when he come on, great cameo. But everybody said he's a £55 million waste of money. And I'd be one of them because at the minute he showed me absolutely nothing of the way he plays that can fit this system. Look good tonight because you're playing against a team that play in a high line that he can run into the space behind. He's not that type of player against a low block. And again, you're always looking at players that can utilise the ball in a tight situation. Only time will tell on him. But like I say, I think we've just got to be a bit patient with the purchases of players because, like I say, we don't have the ability of gambling. It has to be right.
My favorite word.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, Jeff has Michael, Gary. Do you know what the most important thing tonight is? We have so many viewers. Just hit that bloody like button, guys. Come on.
Indeed.
You know,
Don't be stingy, people.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
and I want to put this one up from War Captain Bruno. Newcastle Mountain Police trying to round up the NUFC Talk TV posse in the big market. I just hope nobody punches a horse. Anyway, we've got, especially Betsy. Keep Betsy under control, Chris. We don't want none of them. There was a good one. Is this one. This is from Chris. Gary does not letting. Oh, hold on, mate. Does not letting the kids come on through the refusing to buy young foreign talent, not put players off the club. Now, let's backtrack this because there's something over the last couple of weeks with players that are out going on loan from the under-21s. Some have moved permanently. As a coach, if they were of that quality, they certainly wouldn't be going to the likes of Bradford, Falkirk on a move, right? So
Absolutely.
obviously, what you've actually got from Mitchell, who isn't here anymore, he's filled the void, which was desperate for, and I'm not blaming Mitchell at all, but we have gone through so many under-21 managers, they've gone through so many formations, and there hasn't really been any of them that have struck a match, barring a couple. Munda, I think he'll be a real quality player. I still think there's a player in Sean Neve, but again, he's been played all over the place. I'm still not 100% sure that Alfie Harrison, who he paid £3 million for, remember, and he was told he was the next best thing, he's going to the Championship with Birmingham. So again, when we're looking at giving players the opportunity and the challenge of Premier League, they have to be the right fit. And if they're only finding clubs in the lower leagues, then they certainly ain't the right fit.
Gary, can I just, I think this kind of backs up your point in regards to Raska's 199 super chat there, so thank you very much, mate. To all of you, what progression do you see this season? So I think that kind of works in regards to the youngsters as well.
A lot of work.
Progression. You will see progression not just where the players were bought, but with the players that are already there.
The thing is, we don't know when they're good enough until we play them. And I'm not saying to hang people up to dry, but what we've seen with many, many managers is they're willing to take that risk. And we know that our manager is very anxious and unwilling to take risks and will thereby stick with what he's used to. So that is a stumbling block. But from what we've seen from Alex Murphy in pre-season games and a couple of appearances he's had.
Jeff, but has somebody got a telly on or something in the background and just turn off because it's beginning to
Travoy.
Is it Travoy?
Travoy, can I ask a favour, mate? Because you're all back feeding through all our headphones. I'm going to cut you off now. Lovely to talk to you. We'll try and get you sorted, and then we'll get you back in.
We'll get you back in every day game. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to jump off and then I'll try it because I'm messing up the feed.
No worries, buddy. Lovely to talk to you.
Lovely to speak to you, Travoy. Great
to speak to you,
mate. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Have you on again soon, bud?
So yeah, I was saying in terms of at some point, you got to chuck him in. I remember Maresca had an injury crisis, and he was playing Tyreek George and Achimpong and stuff. And yes, I get that there's a gap between academy level, under 21 level, but we've also seen it historically. I remember when we had the injury crisis with Pardew, and we'd actually sign a Jose Perez as a development player, and we thrust him in, and the rest was history. Sometimes you just need to take a risk, but we've actually got the luxury of certain players being fit compared to 23, 24. I'm just saying, give them 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. It was the same with Asula. I know Asula lacks certain qualities in other players, but again, once he built his confidence, he shows that he's got something. So I think there's question marks there for the manager. Why aren't you doing it? Because Leo Shaha, I think, is an England under 18 international. You've seen it at somewhere like a Fulham. Josh King was an under 18 international, I think, or under 17. Same level. They thrust them in. So Eddie needs to take a risk. So there's that. There's the style of play. I think our football's been quite poor. We've actually gone backwards, I think. Is the put it to the wings, cross it in, can't break down a low block. That's been an issue for over 2 years. So for me, it's that formation change and being able to accommodate more attacking players, having quality in the final third. But like you're mentioning, Boki, kind of creating a pathway for youngsters and getting more diverse recruitment, foreign recruitment in. Obviously, sad to see Ryan go to another club today, but maybe the summer will be better for us.
Oh,
Gary, you couldn't help yourself, could you?
It's Christmas, Christmas time of year. I thought all this had been taken off now, so I'm going to try and look for it before I go any further, so we can remove it from the system. Oh, I can't. It's somewhere else. Anyway, this is the pass line. Sorry about the Christmas jingle jangles around the side. This is our pass line today. And what can you see different? Look how close Harvey Barnes is.
It's a lot stronger in midfield and
in the middle.
Yeah, look how high Hall and Trippier is, because Tonali sits in between the back line. So that allows that high line straight away, which then deflects one of your wingers to get closer into your striker. And we have said from day one about giving Voltemada a little bit of help and assistance. And with this system, I really do hope he takes it into the Premier League. And again, I think tonight was probably, the marker, if you like, because a lot of Premier League clubs utilise the same system, and a lot of big clubs in Europe do the same. Whoever the six is, if you've got that six who's got the ability and vision across the field of play, Pirlo for me was probably one of the best defensive midfielders I've ever seen. Grace a ball, can kick a ball around the field as if it was, nothing. And I love this. The only thing that I disliked a little bit, Bruno, a little bit disjointed on that right-hand side. As you can see, he's the deeper one. I would have liked to see him halfway line, if you like, to pick up that ball. Again, he gives you that different out. And again, maybe this is a mindset thing, and this is that do not lose or do not overstep where you should be. And how many times we've seen ourselves go on that intensity, go on that press, and we've lost ourselves or lost our way a little bit going forward.
Gary,
so that was a good one for me. Yeah, go on.
Jump in with a super chat there again from Wazza, who's been amazing tonight. Intensity,
as always,
progression, aggression. Marry me, Eddie. Wazza, if you want to get married to Eddie, I will be your bridesmaid, mate.
And that indeed, lads, is my cue to go.
I mean, what more can I say? What more can I say? And that to me, the way I look at that, and again, Newcastle's best Champions League performance have come when we start fast. And I think every performance that we saw last year was when we start fast. Even in the Premier League this year, when we start fast. Look at Chelsea's first half. PSV are confident away, vulnerable to be forced to defend going deep. And we said that there is weaknesses in their back line if you look at them. And again, they were so open. Early crosses, for me, were always the thing. But it's all about that pressure. It's, getting the throw-ins. Newcastle didn't dawdle on anything today. Short free kicks. Even if it wasn't around the penalty area, they were taking them quick. They wanted to get at PSV. Throw-ins was taken really quick. Doesn't matter where it was thrown into feet and we get on with it. It created pressure from the off. And for me, the biggest thing was the amount of territory we took and the amount of touches we took in PSV's final third. That was impressive tonight. And that puts any team, to the task to deal with that. And like I said, what you get from that mentality when you're winning those battles, those individual battles, things start to work. Today, a little bit of mother luck, you can say, because that high press enabled us to win that ball back high up in the final third. Then, you can say, well, it was a mistake by them. But we created that mistake. It was our press that got
Gary,
that
can I just ask you and Michael, we're all sat and watched the Wolves game. What's the difference now? Why we're playing like that again? And I know it's an impossible question for you to answer.
It ain't,
but
mate.
Why are we playing like that against Wolves? And then we'll come to the Champions League against PSV and we're playing like that. What's the difference?
Because you're leaving stuff in the locker for big games. It's a must-win game today.
But that's wrong, isn't it? That's really wrong.
It is wrong. But that's what I said, Boki. Sometimes, when you get out of bed and you you just don't feel up to it, and you go into work, and it doesn't matter what happens during that day. You
I
just
think it
can't
was about
get into
9:30
it.
the night for me, mate.
No, but you know what I mean. You just can't get into it. That's that mindset. Even though, you know, I used to go into work and still want to prove my worth, but sometimes you just don't feel up to it. And when you know you've got games every 3 days, sometimes subconsciously you don't want to drop off, but you're always sometimes a little bit frightened to overstep. We've seen, you know, the likes of Tino just overstretch on a tackle, then pulls up with a hamstring. There's a lot of things that are being said by medical staff, by coaches, by everybody around you that you hear, and then you start thinking. And that's when you only probably get 90-95% out of play. And then when you don't get that intensity, unfortunately, you get a little bit on the weaker end of the game. And we've seen it. It's lackluster. There's no positiveness in there. There's sloppy passes. It's all walking pace. And it all makes sense. And you see that tonight. And you even heard it from Eddie Howe. You know, the lads will give you everything tonight. He ain't wrong.
Yeah, I think there is always a bit more motivation when you play these kind of teams. But I think at the same time, you look at Wolves, I think there was half a mentality of we should be winning this quite simply. It's not a fact of I don't think the players put as much effort in. It's just one of those that when you're up against the wall and when you feel like, not the underdog, but you feel like you've got something to prove, you always give that little bit more. I know certainly I do at work. If I feel like someone doesn't think I can do something, I'll go out the way to make sure I do it, and I do it the best of my ability. Motivate me there. Giving away the secret. But I think in the Champions League, again, it is just a case of I've mentioned it so many times. PSV left 2v2 against us. There's not a single team in the Premier League that do that because they're not that sort of naive. But at the same time, PSV, they felt like they needed to win today. Wolves, let's be honest, at the weekend, they probably would have been happy with avoiding a drubbing. So they can just sit 10 men behind the ball. If PSG came to Newcastle and put 10 men behind the ball and got, you know, they lost 1-0 but didn't have a shot on target, I think the fans would have tortured them for not giving a go and not trying. I think they'll go back tonight and they'll go, yeah, it wasn't a great performance, but we were just outclassed in the end.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a bad team. They put 6 past Napoli, 4 past Liverpool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because Steve Gotti's saying, no, you know, this team costs less than buying Elanga. And yeah, it cost fair point. But you're right. When it clicks, it clicks. And you go and beat Liverpool at Anfield 4-1. We'd have to play. We would have to play some game to beat Liverpool at Anfield 4-1. I hope it comes that way. I must admit. And like you say, Napoli 6-2. I know there was a sending off in the game as well, but I mean, you know, I understand the sentiment, but you've still got. You can only play what's in front of you. And like I say, Wolves were a great team.
Yeah. Can I just pick up on the chat as well, because they're saying a little bit why the negativity. It's not that we're being negative. It's simply down to the fact that, you know, we've seen what we've seen this season and we're being honest with each other. So, you know, yes, we can all say it, you know, it was a great performance tonight, don't get us wrong. But I think you have to put it in the context of where the season's been. And, you know, for the people that are eddying, this is a perfect result. Everybody's happy. You know, we're going down the right route. But for the people who have concerns about Eddie, which I have major concerns, it doesn't answer the question. It doesn't answer the question of how can we go from me and Michael, and I wish Gary had been there because it would have been great, but me, Michael, at the club on Saturday, watching that match, having a couple of pints together, why didn't we see that same type of performance against the Wolves as we've seen tonight?
Yeah, it would have been great to see, wouldn't it?
I think that is it, isn't it? And you know, when you talk about the crowd being low, you know, you're reacting to what's in front of you. Yeah, and if it's not exciting, then you're not going to get off the edge of your seat. If you're, you know, doing a Leeds game or a Bournemouth game where it literally is end to end, you know, 1 minute you're up, and it reminded me of the Forest game when we eventually won 4-3. First off, it was phenomenal. I was never sat down. Yeah, and then all of a sudden they get 3 goals back, and it could have ended up 4-4. And all of a sudden, you're on the edge of your seat, but all for the wrong reasons. them are the games that get you going. That was the KK era. You know, that's why they were called the entertainers. I think the biggest problem for me is the fact that, you know, imagine Man City, where are they tonight? 11th, 12th, 13th? You know, and they've put all that money into that team. You know what I mean? You imagine what we would be like, you know, if Eddie had spent that type of money and put out that type of performance finishing in the
Guys,
Champions
just
League.
before we do go, you two guys deserve so much positivity for doing the match of the night. You are brilliant at doing that. You know, I think the fans really, and the people on the chat really appreciate what you do. And as I say, if I'm watching the match live, I just pause it until I catch up with yous, and then I listen to you guys in the background because, you know, you are so brilliant at it. And I've done it in the past, and you know, I'm not the greatest because I lose concentration because I just want to watch the game. But you two guys just keep up with the game. You keep up with exactly what's happening. You just bounce off each other. So, you know, big shout out for you two for doing that match. That match.
I must admit, you know,
thank you.
It's great comments, mate. I love it. And like I say, I do it because I love doing it. And the problem is, I mean, bless him, Michael's only just come on board. But I mean, for me this year, it's been hard work because there hasn't been excitement. And sometimes, you know, when we know there's people just listening and not actually watching the game, the excitement comes from your voice and you're trying to imitate what you see. And when you start talking like that and you just can't be asked to raise a monotone, you know, it just becomes a little bit null and void. So for me, it's all about trying to get into the flow of the game when you come. And like I say, it's been a breath of fresh air having Michael with me, to be fair, because like I say, he just seems to jump on board. And I love it. And I must admit, if I fall off the pedestal that you've put me on, I'm going to break my leg.
No, but in all seriousness, you know, when you watch watch along, sometimes you just think, what a bunch of other channels. I've done it, you know, I've sat and watched them. You think, what a bunch of boring bastards, basically. But you know, with used to, you keep up to date with the game. We know exactly where we are. So, you know, I think if you're paying $4.99 a month to watch that, I think it's well worth it, mates. I think it's that's the big part for me. Is sort of, you know, you guys are worth that every penny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very good, very good. Very kind of you. And anyway, I think that is it. I mean, points from today, if you like, there isn't a great deal of anything. For me, it was the physicality from the midfield that won it for me. I thought they were absolutely excellent. You know, all three of them, they all played a tune in that midfield. And like I say, I can't knock any of them. And if it was going to be really nasty, I'd say just the odd ball needed to be better. But, you know, the stat focus for me was the duels won, second ball won. We've gone a bit lax on them duels in midfield in recent performances. And I've always said, you know, for me, the midfield is your key to attack. It's also the key to the defence. They get through there too quickly, you're exposed, and it's only a matter of time before they beat the keeper. So for me, that was good. Tackles and interceptions combined. Bruno and Joe Linton, I thought today was fantastic. Again, with that one, Tonali playing in a different role. So I'm not saying that he was out of it, but to me, he made us look better. Again, it pushed us. We overloaded in that midfield, which is where I think PSV, the way they set up, was that was their anchor. They was trying to dominate that midfield. And I think with the way Louis Hall moved into the midfield on the left-hand side and tripped as well, fair play. So that was for me. Successful carries into the box. Always a thing for me, watching players run with the ball. It's graceful. Harvey Barnes' goal, spectacular. Absolutely a credit to the lad. And again, it's about, you know, we're top of second in the league, I think it is now, for crosses into the box. And again, you see the intent. But what you saw again today was numbers of shirts in the box. And that to me is a massive positive. So, you know, I can't say anything negative about this game tonight, apart from it has to continue, I think.
guys, let's be honest. We won the night. Let's be.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Let's end the show on the positive. We were brilliant the night. Who would have thought that Newcastle United are into the final stages of the Champions League a couple of years ago? Let's go for this. Let's be the positive fans we are, and let's just think we can do this. We can win everything. We're a great team. We've got great players. Let's go for this. Come on, the lads.
I couldn't have said it better myself, mate. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah, superb. Thanks to everybody that's joined Balky tonight for being the governor, and obviously my man Michael as well, helping throughout the show early on. So great show. Great to have Travoy on and Jeff out earlier on as well. Thanks to everybody that super chatted. Wazza, Ragstar, I believe. Have I missed anybody out, Balky? Ragstar's done a couple.
Oh, yes, and the wrong person.
Geordie Dan.
I've lost the chat.
No. War Captain Bruno.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
yeah. I think we've got them all now. Thank you ever so much, everybody out there. But the most important thing, thank you to everybody that's in the chat and the viewers, because, like I say, this becomes a very difficult show when you're not bouncing everything at us. You are our brains, eyes, and ears. At the best of times, and like I say, sometimes, as good as we are, we ain't perfect.
Absolutely
Gary,
not.
how were the lads?
Lassies?
And bands.
Hey! We're getting him. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the early show. Take care, all.
Ta-ra.